Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with thousands of True School Sports as subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, Sean Porter Keith Thurman just took place. It was, really a really great fight. One of those fights that if you don't follow boxing on a regular basis, it kind of makes you want to follow boxing more because it was a great fight. 2.4 million views, I believe, on CBS. So great night for boxing. Definitely a night that will push the sport forward. With that being said, Keith Thurman, he's put himself in line for some big fights. We're hearing Danny Garcia. We're hearing, other guys thrown out there. But Danny Garcia is the main name we hear. So, that fight should happen down the road. But there's another guy in the welterweight division that's been calling Keith Thurman's name for about well over a year and a half, maybe about a year, I'd say. Because I remember last year on this time I was making videos when all this started. The guy I'm talking about is obviously Errol Spence. Errol Spence, a prospect, one of the most feared fighters at 147. A guy that's definitely, I've said it many times. I probably say at least one time I make a video about Errol Spence. He is the best body puncher at 147, and because he is the best body puncher at 147, it's we saw what happened to Keith Thurman against Luis Collazo. Luis Collazo, a crafty veteran, was able to hit him. Keith Thurman with a great body shot, hurt him. Keith got on his bicycle and had to stay composed. Same thing happened in the later rounds against Showtime Sean Porter. He basically got hit with a body shot pretty cleanly, and he got on his bicycle and ran from Sean Porter. Now, credit to Keith Thurman. He was able to take the body shots, although he was hurt, stay composed, and not, go to the canvas. So, you got to give him credit there. But with that being said, man, taking a body shot from Luis Collazo, taking a body shot from Sean Porter is not like taking a body shot from Errol Spence Jr. And I'm going to come out and say it, man. I think Errol Spence Jr. in a fight against Keith Thurman, especially now that he's gotten some more seasoning under his belt. He had the Algieri fight, which I thought was very important for him to get that win under his belt, and he's going to get more experience under his belt. Just using common sense here, I think Errol Spence would destroy Keith Thurman, destroy him. I mean, I think Keith could obviously has a chance to beat him, but the longer he waits, the worse this is going to get for him, because Errol Spence is coming, and he's going to be a huge problem. Keith, very skilled fighter, yes, but every fighter has a weakness. Amir Khan has a glass jaw. Keith Thurman can't take body shots, and taking a body shot from Errol Spence Jr., if Errol Spence is able to push Keith against the ropes like Sean Porter was able to do many times throughout the course of that fight, I don't think it's going to wind up going very well for him. And the thing is, Keith, I think he's beginning to mature a little bit as a fighter because coming up in his career, he when you fight softer opposition, it's easier to get knockouts. But he's stepped it up in class over his last, now fighting Porter. He definitely stepped it up a huge way as far as level of opponent. And you saw that he wasn't able to really, he hurt Porter a couple times, but he wasn't able to finish him. And with Keith, he's not really patient. He loads up on a lot of his shots. He wasn't picking a lot of his shots. So being that he has a bad habit to load up on shots and not set them up, that's not going to work against top level guys. And against a guy like Errol Spence, if he's not patient, he's going to get iced. And I have no doubt about that in my mind. Do I hope that he's matures and makes some adjustments so we can get a better version of Keith Thurman? Most definitely. But he doesn't pick his shots really well. He doesn't. He's very cerebral. He's very analytical. But when he gets in the ring, it seems like he kind of loses mental focus and wants to get into a war and not box. When he stayed on his back foot and from long range, and he was able to stay in the middle of the ring and just box Sean Porter, he did a great job. And Porter was rendered ineffective. So if he's able to be that guy for the span of 12 rounds, I think that's his best chance to win. As funny as it is with Keith Thurman, he always preaches about knockouts, and knockouts are great, and he has a great straight right hand, so he should never ever be afraid of using his power. But it's almost hilarious because he preaches knockouts, but he's almost better when he's not looking for the knockout or when he's not in that mind frame of fighting like that. That would be the best way of him beating Errol Spence, is to outbox him. Because there's no way, if they get into an exchange, that he will beat Errol Spence with those body shots. It's just too much, man. It is what it is. But I wanted to put that out there because Errol Spence last year around this time in the summer called Keith Thurman out. He said he'd murk that boy in referring to Keith Thurman. Last summer it seemed kind of crazy, but looking at the progression of Errol Spence, the trajectory he's on, what he brings to the table, what Keith Thurman's weaknesses are, I think he's definitely has a great shot at beating him. I'd favor him in a fight if they ever fought. But I just wanted to get this out there. Let me know what you guys think. Would Errol Spence beat Keith Thurman if they fought, in the next fight? Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you could love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.